Hey, so in general, when we're coming with equations of lines, we need two things. What two things do we need? Slope and a point. Yes, very often it's very easy to use point slope form, which is this form I've circled in blue right here. It's very easy to use point slope form if you have a point and a slope, essentially a point that your line passes through and the slope of your line. That's what pretty much everything revolves around coming up. So for some problems like this first one, we're just given each of them. We have the point and we have the slope. So we can just plug directly in for y1, x1 as in our point x1 comma y1 and our m, which is our slope. So our slope, we've got y minus y sub 1. Y sub 1 is -2. So y minus -2, which we know is going to turn into +2, equals m, which is 1/2, times x minus 4. So rewrite y plus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 2. That's just distributing our 1/2 into the x minus 4. Then we start 2 from both sides to solve for y. We get y equals 1/2 x minus 4. And there we go. There's our first one. All right. Now, second one. What's different about this one? What are we given?
Points.
2 points rather than a point and a slope. But can we get a slope from 2 points? We sure can, using what equation?
So whatever it is.
Yeah. Changing y over changing x. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we start by coming up with the slope. So m equals, remember, it doesn't matter which ones are x1, y1, and x2, y2. Does it matter? Nope, doesn't matter. I just label them left to right. X1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. Plugging into our formula now. We got y2 minus y1, y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So we end up, this turns into a plus right here rather than a minus a negative. So we got -1 plus 10, which is 9, over 5 minus 2, which is 3. So our slope is 3. Very nice. So we got our slope. And now we have a slope and 2 different points. Now, I have 2 points. Which one should I use? Does it matter? Nope. I kind of like 5, -1. So we can use that point. Or we can use 2, -10, whichever one we want. Just because I labeled these x2 and y2 doesn't mean I can't plug them in for x1 and y1 in that equation up there. It's still a point. So here we go. Y minus y sub 1, we're going to call it -1, equals m, which is 3. We just found that over here, times x minus the x of our chosen point, which is 5. All right. That's going to turn into y plus 1, distributing my 3 into the x minus 5. I got 3x minus 15. And we just want to subtract 1 from each side to solve for y, and we get y equals 3x minus 16. And there we go. Questions with that? This is baby food, right?
Sure.
So I like to say. Okay. So, all right, so when we have one of these, remember, when it says it's parallel to some other line, that's just a fancier way of telling you about the line slope, right? Because parallel, when you hear the word parallel, a lot of you think, oh, the lines don't intersect. But in order for them to have not intersect, they have to have the same slope. So if you're parallel to some line, it has the same slope as that line. So looking at this equation right here, we need to know what the slope of that is. Can y'all just look at that and tell what the slope is?
I want to say 12, but I don't know.
The 3, like the 3x.
So you're trained to think, the thing in front of the x is the slope, right? But is that always the case? Why not? What sort of form must we be in order to
Point slope.
the
Or Y equals MX plus B.
Y equals mx plus b form, which is called slope-intercept form. We need to be in this form to be able to determine the slope of a line just by looking at it, right? So we need to take this and make it look like that. How could I do that?
Rearrange the equation.
Rearrange the equation and essentially get y by itself, solve for y, and then you'll know, and then you can look at it and know what the slope is. So do that. Okay, so let's go through this first one. Remember, parallel means same slope. So we need to determine the slope of the line that we're parallel to. So we first, by isolating y, subtract 3x on each side. So we got negative 6y equals negative 3x plus 12. And then we divide both sides by negative 6. And I individually divide these by negative 6. It makes it easier to reduce and determine the slope. So I've got y equals negative 3 over negative 6. That's 1/2 x minus 2. And remember, all we care about is that we are parallel to this line. So parallel means same slope as, so we know we want the slope to be 1/2. So we got our m. M is 1/2. We got our point, which is negative 6, 3. Now we do what we always do when we have a slope and a point. We use point slope form right there. Do this in blue. So we got y minus y sub 1, which is 3, equals m, which is 1/2, times x minus negative 6, which we know turns into plus 6. Now we distribute our 1/2 into the x plus 6, get 1/2 x plus 3, and we add 3 to both sides. So y equals 1/2 x plus 6. And there we go. Questions with that one? Pretty basic, right? Once you know what parallel and perpendicular mean, it's not too bad. All right, here's the last question. This is the one down here that I just moved to the next slide. All right, and finally, what's different about this one?
It's perpendicular.
Perpendicular to this line. Now, what's nice about that line that it was given to us?
Where the slope.
It's already in point slope form, so we know what the slope is. What's its slope?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. So we know the slope of this line is negative 4. But we want to be perpendicular to that. So what does perpendicular mean?
Opposite reciprocal.
Right, the slopes are opposite reciprocals of each other. Opposite meaning change the sign, opposite sign. And reciprocal means, yep, flip the fraction. Flip the fraction. Okay, so if this one has a slope of negative 4, what fraction is that? Right, this is negative 4 over 1. So when we flip it, it becomes
1/4.
positive 1/4 because we change the sign to positive and we flip the fraction. So this is the slope that we want to use. So m is 1/4. So we got a slope. What else do we have? We got a point, x1 comma y1. So as usual, we use this equation right here. Y minus y sub 1, which is 11, equals m, which is 1/4, as we just found right there, times x minus x sub 1, which is 4. Distribute our 1/4, add 11 to both sides, and we're in business. 1/4 x minus 1 equals y minus 11. Add 11 to both sides. We get y equals 1/4 x plus 10. All set. Questions?
No, sir.
Sweet.
What was the first one again?
What was the answer to the first one? Was it 1/2 x plus 6?